Hi friends! Are you ready to take on the challenge of guessing about the heart's structure? In this video, there are 41 questions, 3 choices, and 10 seconds to guess the answer. Share your results, how many you got the correct ones. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. How many chambers are there in the heart? Four. The heart is divided into 4 chambers. Names are right atrium, right ventricle, and left ventricle. Which artery supplies oxygenated blood to the right arm and the head? Brachiocephalic artery. It is the first branch of the aortic arch on the extreme right, and it supplies blood to the right arm, head, and neck. Which artery distributes oxygenated blood to the entire body? Aorta. It is the largest artery in the human body, originates from the left ventricle, and supplies oxygen-rich blood to the entire body. Which vein transports oxygenated blood from the left lung to the left atrium? Left pulmonary vein. They are 2 in number and drain oxygen-rich blood from the left lung into the left atrium. Which part receives oxygenated blood from the lungs? Left atrium. It is one of the upper atriums of the heart on the left side and receives oxygen-rich blood from the lungs through the right and left pulmonary veins. Which artery carries deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle to the right lung? Right pulmonary artery. It is a branch of the pulmonary trunk and part of the pulmonary circulation that carries oxygen-poor blood from the right ventricle to the right lung for oxygenation. Which structure pumps deoxygenated blood to the lungs? Right ventricle. It is one of the lower ventricles on the right side of the heart and receives oxygen-poor blood from the right atrium and pumps it into the lungs for oxygenation. Which artery supplies oxygenated blood to the left side of the neck and head? Left common carotid artery. It is which valves control blood flow from the left ventricle to the aorta? Aortic valve. It is one of the 4 heart valves, has 3 cusps or flaps, lies between the aorta and the left ventricle, and prevents the backflow of blood. Which artery supplies oxygenated blood to the left side of the heart? Left coronary artery. It is one of the main coronary arteries, originating from the ascending aorta. What transmits electrical impulses from the AV node to the ventricles? Bundle of His. It is part of the electrical conduction system of the heart and transmits the impulse from the AV node to the ventricles. Which veins collect deoxygenated blood from the heart and return it to the right atrium? Coronary vein. Numerous coronary veins form a network called coronary sinus. Which artery carries deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle to the left lung? Left pulmonary artery. It is a branch of the pulmonary trunk and part of the pulmonary circulation that carries oxygen-poor blood from the right ventricle to the left lung for oxygenation. Which part receives deoxygenated blood from the body? Right atrium. It is one of the upper atria on the right side of the heart and receives oxygen-poor blood from the body and pumps it into the right ventricle. Which vein collects deoxygenated blood from the upper body? Superior vena cava. It carries oxygen-poor blood from the upper half of the body and drains into the right atrium of the heart. What divides the heart into left and right sides? Septum. It is a wall of tissue that divides the heart into the right and left sides. Which valves prevent the backflow of blood from the arteries to the ventricles? Semilunar valves. There are two semilunar valves. One is the pulmonary and another is the aortic. What connects the atrioventricular valves to the papillary muscles? Chordae tendineae. They are fibrous connective tissue, also known as heartstrings. What regulates blood flow between the right atrium and right ventricle? Tricuspid valve. It is one of the four heart valves, has three cusps or flaps, lies between the right atrium and the right ventricle, and prevents the backflow of blood. Which part contract prevents the inversion of the atrioventricular valves? Papillary muscles. They attach to the cusps of the atrioventricular valves through the chordae tendineae. What protects and lubricates the heart? Pericardium. It is a double-walled sac containing the heart and the roots of the great vessels, and it has two layers. The outer is fibrous and the inner is serous. What enhances the filling of the atria? Auricles. They are triangular-shaped prominent structures located on both atrium. Which is the outer layer of the heart wall? Epicardium. It is the outermost protective layer of the heart, made up of epithelial cells. What distributes electrical impulses that cause ventricular contraction? Purkinje fibers. They are specialized conducting fibers located beneath the endocardium. What separates the left and right ventricles? Interventricular septum. It is a muscular wall that divides the lower chambers of the heart into the right and the left ventricle. It prevents oxygenated and deoxygenated blood from mixing. What is the name of the bottom tip of the heart? Apex. The apex of the heart is pointed forward, downward, and to the left. What separates the left and right atria? Interatrial septum. It is a muscular wall that divides the upper chambers of the heart into the right and the left atrium. It prevents oxygenated and deoxygenated blood from mixing. Which layer is responsible for pumping blood? Myocardium. It is a thick middle layer between the pericardium, outer layer, and endocardium, inner layer, with blood supplied through the coronary circulation. What makes up the atrioventricular and semilunar valves? Cusps. Cusps, or flaps, are the tissues that open and close with each heartbeat. They make sure blood flows in the correct direction. What structure allows blood to flow between the atria? Fossa ovalis. The fossa ovalis is a depression in the right atrium of the heart. It is a remnant of the foramen ovale during fetal development. Which artery supplies blood to the left side of the heart? Circumflex artery. The circumflex artery is a branch of the left coronary artery and encircles the heart muscle. It supplies blood to the outer side and back of the heart. Which artery supplies blood to the front of the heart? Left anterior descending artery. It is a branch of the left coronary artery. It supplies the anterior portion of the left ventricle. What structure initiates the electrical impulses that regulate heart rhythm? SA node. It is an oval-shaped structure made up of pacemaker cells. It produces an electrical impulse known as a cardiac action potential that travels through the electrical conduction system of the heart. Which valves control blood flow from the right ventricle to the pulmonary artery? Pulmonary valve. The pulmonary valve has 3 cusps, and it is present between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery. Thanks for watching.